Well, all throughout the day on France 24, we're following these tributes to mark the 10 years since those attacks that shook Paris November 13th. And our culture editor, Eve Jackson, is with me here now to tell us a bit more about how artists are commemorating the anniversary. Eve.
Well, we're starting with a photographer who was there that night, Jeannie. She's called Marian Rivnevsky. Now, she's got a new book. It's called Doing It to Death. It was co-written with the journalist Victor Le Masne. It looks back at 20 years of live music photography. Now, she'd been documenting concerts at the Bataclan for years. And on that night, November the 13th, she was on an assignment there for a magazine called Rock and Folk. Now, these photos were taken on the balcony just minutes before the attack. They capture the energy and the joy of that night before the unimaginable tragedy that followed. Now, the book contrasts what she calls a before and an after, 10 years of concert photography before the attacks and 10 years after. For her, art really became a way to heal, to make sense of trauma through her lens. Take a listen.
Well, photography and music are important in my life. So, yeah, there's a kind of healing for me as well.
So there you go, the photographs of Marian Rivnevsky in her book, which is called Doing It to Death. Following those attacks, of course, the Bataclan was closed for nearly a year before it reopened in late 2016. Now, we recently spoke to one of the artists who returned to the stage there as it was welcoming back the public. And this is Australian musician Chet Faker talking about playing there.
It was a very memorable show. Obviously, it was very intense and there were a lot of emotions, but it felt very positive, and the staff were very thankful, and it felt like quite a beautiful moment. So I'll always have a memory of playing there.
And on this 10th anniversary, France is also paying tribute through music.
That's right. The city of Paris has commissioned a composer called Victor Le Masne. He was also the musical director for the Paris Olympics, to create a new work in memory of the victims of those attacks. Now, he's written a moving piece. It is called Requiem de Lumières, or Requiem of Light, to be performed this evening during the special ceremony at the new Memorial Garden near City Hall, attended by Emmanuel Macron. Here's what he told us about what he hoped to convey through his music.
I called it Requiem des Lumières, Requiem of Light, because I believe that beyond the potential pun on the Enlightenment and French philosophy, I think it was the idea of talking about something luminous in this place that evokes such sadness. It's a requiem for the victims, and it's also a requiem for the living, requiem for up there.
Well, the tragic events of November 13th, 2015 have inspired numerous works in literature and on screen, with films exploring the human stories behind the headlines.
That's right. And now a new television series continues that work of remembrance, Jeannie. It's called De Vivant, or The Living. It's directed by Jean-Xavier de Lestrade. It's airing on France Television. That's a bit like the BBC here in France. Let's take a look at a clip.
Marie? Marie? C'était où? Je vais bien.
T'es blessé? T'es blessé?
Non, je vais bien, je vais bien. Je vais bien.
C'est fini. C'est fini, c'est fini. C'est fini. C'est fini. C'est fini. C'est fini.
That is, of course, a very powerful, emotional series to watch. It follows a group of Bataclan survivors who call themselves Le Potage, a blend of the words pot, which means friends in French, and otage, which is hostages. Now, to create this series, the team spent years meeting and listening to the survivors, documenting their long journey of reconstruction. And the director told our sister channel why it's important to keep sharing this story.
It felt important today to revisit these events through a major piece of fiction. but one that's deeply researched and firmly grounded in reality, because we remain very close to the accounts of the former hostages. 10 years on, I have the feeling we're starting to forget what happened. That's why we need powerful narratives like this one. Because what truly holds a society together are the stories we tell each other and the ones we share. And this is a story we must keep sharing.
And finally, Yves, there is an exhibition on in Paris now marking this anniversary.
And that exhibition is called Les Attentats de Paris, Hommage aux Victimes, or the Paris Attacks, a tribute to the victims. It's on view at the Musée Carnavalet until December the 7th. Now, it brings together the many ways Parisians express their grief during that time, from murals to graffiti, powerful reminders of resilience and remembrance.
Yves Jackson, thank you so much for that look at how the culture world is reacting to those tragic events of November 13th, 2015. The